We will begin with a simple guided meditation. Please bring yourself to a meditation posture. Closing your eyes, keeping your back straight, and taking a deep breath in and bringing your shoulders all the way up before you drop them with a deep exhalation. You may do this a couple of times. Breathe in and breathe out. And focus on your eyes as your eyes are now closed. All those muscles there. When your eyes are gently closed, your eyes can begin to relax. Now, notice your shoulders. Allow them to completely relax, dropping any burden and connecting with your back and the spine. As you breathe in and breathe out, and now sense the environment, your atmosphere, your surrounding, letting go of any burden that you have in your mind, putting down the weight of your past and the future. You can bring your attention to your in breath and the out breath. Applying mindfulness to your bodily sensations as you breathe in and breathe out. And also, you can experience the uncertainty of what you will feel next, whether it is sounds, smells, bodily feelings, any sensation. This, there is this unpredictability about what you will feel next or what you will catch in your attention next. You can expand your awareness, completely applying mindfulness to your entire breath body. Noticing your shoulders as you breathe in and breathe out. Also noticing the starting point and the ending point of your breath. However subtle your breath becomes, you notice and you are aware, and you just allow your breath to be there and take your breath as your main focus. You temporarily let go of seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, physical sensations, and thinking. Remain aware, allowing things to come and go without being irritated, agitated, excited, or disliking any experience. We may come out of our meditation in a minute. What's your meditation?
I don't know, first timer, so
Mm-hmm.
it's a little bit difficult, but
Getting there.
yeah,
Great.
practice makes it.
Yeah. I remember when I started, I had all kinds of experiences. Doubt in the process also was part of it.
It's my winter running.
Yeah. Also questioning when does it end and
Yeah.
all those thoughts. And those are called hindrances actually that I will talk about a little bit. Hindrances um, hinder the path of a person who wants to find peace.
Mm.
That we tend to um, feel some restlessness
Yeah,
or
it was almost like I was fighting against
yes,
like relaxation or something like that.
right.
Like right when I said don't think,
Yeah,
all I wanted to do was
thinking.
think about what I'm gonna do when I
Right.
don't think.
And it creates some anxiety in us.
Yeah, yeah.
There are, and today I wanted to talk about jhanas in Buddhism.
Yeah.
And for that, learning about these five hindrances help us identify them soon enough and almost suppress them, but with more understanding.
Cool.
That helps us to. Um, it's like you see a snake when you walk and you don't want to step on it. You avoid it by being mindful.
Cool.
So these five hindrances are very common in Buddhist teachings. We talk about it all the time. And the first one is sensual desire. That some people, when they have sensual desire, um, they feel easily attached to things.
Yeah.
And because of that, they are unable to focus and sit calm. We have these wild animal instincts that we try to fulfill our desires uh, and ignore everything else. That kind of desire can be destructive. But with that comes the second hindrance, that is anger. Say someone is strongly motivated by their lust, and when they can't fulfill it, then they have anger, that they feel frustrated about everything. They feel easily frustrated and they can control it. And they tend to say the most ugly things because of they being controlled by both attachment and frustration.
Yeah.
And then the third hindrance is sloth and torpor. We feel drowsy and dull in our mind. Because of that, we always feel like this is not a good time to meditate. We feel like we have overeaten, overslept, or sleep deprived, or haven't slept well enough, or have overworked, or some reason for us to feel um, that sloth and torpor in our body and mind. That's a hindrance. And number 4 is that restlessness.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
anxiety that restlessness brings, and fidgety, and um, and also I think overthinking a little bit contributes to that restlessness. It starts in our mind and then goes to our body, and now we are not in peace. That peacefulness is disturbed by one of these 4 hindrances, and the last one is doubt. We doubt about meditation. We doubt about the instructions. We tend to doubt about Buddha. We tend to doubt about his teachings, or anyone who has meditated in the past. We doubt about where you happen to be for meditation, like if it's the right place, and all these um, thoughts cause doubt in our mind. And it's like muddied pond that is not clear. But as soon as these obstacles, five hindrances, when they disappear, the pond that is our mind gains clarity. That is when meditation becomes so peaceful and pleasant.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of like running, but all
Yeah.
in here.
Absolutely. It's kind of like running, and it's more of a mental awareness game, that you
Yeah.
avoid these obstacles, and now you are focused. And it's not only for meditation, it's actually living our life, or eating or sleeping, for anything. If one of these 5 obstacles are strongly present, we find it hard to sleep or focus.
Hmm.
And when these are under control, we begin experiencing wholesome energies in our overall body and mind. These are called levels of understanding: first, second, third, and fourth. These are jhanas. They are very popular in Buddha's teachings, and even prior to Buddha's arising, these jhanas were present. And the Buddha himself, before he became the Buddha, he has done some jhana meditations, the 4 jhanas. Have you heard of the jhanas? It's,
A while ago.
yeah,
But,
yeah. Yeah, so these 4 that are available to us when we meditate, it's best we are familiar with the content, and so that we know the map before we walk. That way we know how to identify the characteristics of each jhana, and it's like a mind opening, like a lotus. Each layer opens to a new, beautiful, delicate layer inside of the lotus. It's like the first jhana opens to the second jhana, and then when the mind is fully open, it's a beautiful lotus.
No, they're kind of like states of consciousness, or
States of consciousness, very true. But consciousness, you are aware of these states, and you are conscious also of each level as you just almost drop or fall into.
Well, it's
into
almost
that.
like sleep. Sort of like there are stages of sleep.
With mindfulness.
Yeah, yeah.
And you will, and the Buddha says the first jhana is, it's like, his simile is, you know, soap powder, the kind that sometimes they used to have, you know, washing machine powder that we just throw in. It's not like, it's like liquid. Now we have liquid for washing machines. Or
Oh,
it's so
yeah.
so cool.
No, it was but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
The Buddha's, let me read that part. His simile, uh, he says, okay, let me start. The first jhana has all these interesting details, and you can stop me, but I will end it with the simile. The Buddha says, quite secluded from sensual pleasures. This is like letting go of hindrances. Secluded from unskillful qualities. That could very well mean anything that obstructs your peace. We enter and remain in the first absorption. That is another way they translate the first jhana, which has the rapture and bliss born of seclusion, while placing the mind and keeping it connected. We drench, steep, fill, and spread our body, with rapture and bliss born of seclusion. There is no part of the body that is not spread with rapture and bliss born of seclusion. It is like when a deft bathroom attendant or their apprentice pours bath powder into a bronze dish, something like this, sprinkling it little by little with water. They knead it until the ball of bath powder is soaked and saturated with moisture, spread through inside and out, yet no moisture oozes out. Can you visualize that image of mixing bath powder into a ball, but it just almost falls, but it does not. And that experience and how you feel about the first absorption. In the same way, a meditating person drenches, steeps, fills, and spreads their body with rapture and bliss born of seclusion. There is no part of the body that is not spread with rapture and bliss born of seclusion. So notice this rapture and bliss born of seclusion. What kind of seclusion is it talking about? It is basically being secluded from sensual pleasures, like anything that has to do with your six sense bases. Usually habitually we look for the next dose of dopamine, next exciting thing, but instead you are now secluded from that habit, and you are here allowing that rapture and bliss to arise, springing it from within, and that you permeate your body with that joy and happiness.
Almost like it's almost like everything's made out of nothing. You're nothing, and so you're almost weightless in a way.
Yes, almost weightless.
Yeah.
You're floating, just free floating, but it's not like you are levitating, but your weight is gone.
Yeah, because you realize you're nothing.
Yeah.
Or you're air.
Yeah, you begin to become air. And I think there's this danger of being attached to this experience when you begin to experience it. But again, notice that there was no use of psychedelics, shrooms, or anything to get to this level. This is more of a controlled, mindful experience. And there's also a second level, that is the next one that I will read. Let me share the screen so it shows. The second jhana. Furthermore, as the placing of the mind and keeping it connected are stilled, a mendicant enters and remains in the second absorption, which has the rapture and bliss born of immersion. Now, earlier it was rapture and bliss born of seclusion, but now this is arising from immersion, with internal clarity and mind at one, without applying the mind and keeping it connected. They drench, steep, fill, and spread their body with rapture and bliss born of immersion. There is no part of the body that is not spread with rapture and bliss born of immersion. It is like a deep lake fed by spring water. There is no inlet to the east, west, north, or south, and no rainfall to replenish it from time to time. But the stream of cool water welling up in the lake drenches, steeps, fills, and spreads throughout the lake. There is no part of the lake that is not spread through with cool water. It is in the same way a mendicant drenches, steeps, fills, and spreads their body with rapture and bliss born of immersion. There is no part of the body that is not spread with rapture and bliss born of immersion. So this is the second one, second experience of a jhana, where you notice there's more and more welling up of rapture and bliss arising from within, and you almost dive deeper into an experience that is arising from within and hard to explain. It's beyond words, and there is this euphoria that you are experiencing. And if you haven't felt it that way, you are not in the second jhana.
Yeah, it's almost like a runner's high, in a way. I know I keep comparing it to running, but
No, it is actually. And you are being held by that experience. That it's like you are placed in a cloud. And you know a cloud is cool and moistured, and that it gives you this amazing feeling.
Mhm.
And there's barely any thought for you to express that. And how did it all start? It's by closing your eyes and meditating and just allowing things to be and letting things happen. And just allowing your body and mind to completely open up, and you surrender to that experience.
Now, how would you do that inside? Like, what would make you?
Through focusing on your breath. You
Okay.
begin with your inhaling experience. You just completely apply mindfulness to your in-breath and out-breath and allow it to disappear. But it doesn't disappear, it is there, but it's not like you have to do anything. You are just aware of your inhaling and exhaling, because the body does it anyway, without you having to do anything about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely compare that to like daily regular running. Running metaphor and but
Right.
yeah.
Let's continue reading. This is the third jhana. Furthermore, with fading away of rapture, a mendicant enters and remains in the third absorption, where they meditate with equanimity, mindful and aware, personally experiencing the bliss of which the noble ones declare, equanimous and mindful, one meditates in bliss. They drench, steep, fill, and spread their body with bliss, free of rapture. There is no part of the body that is not spread with bliss, free of rapture. It is like a pool with blue water lilies, or pink or white lotuses. Some of them sprout and grow in the water without rising above it, thriving underwater. From the tip to the root, they are drenched, steeped, filled, and soaked with cool water. There is no part of them that is not soaked with cool water. In the same way, a mendicant drenches, steeps, fills, and spreads their body with bliss free of rapture. So now the rapture has disappeared like anything. It's impermanent, but the footprint that it has left, that coolness in your body, there's no part of the body that is not spread with bliss, that is free of rapture. There's no any erupting anything, but it's just your equanimity kicks in and you stay in a bliss, for lack of a better word. And this paves the way to the fourth jhana. Can I read that also? The last one. Furthermore, giving up pleasure and pain, so no exciting pleasure or no attachment to bodily pain through sitting or anything. It's just, that's why we sit in a very comfortable posture for meditation, so that our posture does not interrupt with the meditation. So furthermore, giving up pleasure and pain and ending former happiness and sadness, any emotional baggage that a person had. So it's gone. A mendicant enters and remains in the fourth absorption without pleasure or pain, with pure equanimity and mindfulness. They sit, spreading their body through with pure bright mind. There is no part of the body that is not spread with pure bright mind.
So it's almost like radiating that feeling you get when you just being nothing, being just one.
That
Or
word,
being light, I guess.
that word you use, radiance, is I think very accurate. And you are becoming just pure bright light. And if you come out of that meditation, you will notice that things have slowed down and there's this light, invisible light emitting from you, but you know there's no light at all, but that it's just equanimity and radiance coming out that you are emitting without you. Yeah.
How long does this usually last? I guess that's it can vary with.
It varies depending on the person and how much time you spend in meditation. It, especially this experience can last for 30 minutes to all day long, that you are at peace and calmness because of the euphoria that you experienced.
Yeah.
And that no hindrance arises in you for almost a week or two in your mind. And then when obstacles and hindrances begin to arise, you almost want to go back to your meditation, knowing that it was more peaceful with meditation than having to deal with all the obstacles and sensual desire and aversion and restlessness and doubt and sleepiness and all that. There's a little bit more to read here.
Yeah.
Um, it is like someone sitting wrapped from head to foot with a white cloth. There's no part of the body that is not spread over with white cloth. And they sit spreading their body through with pure bright mind. There's no part of the body that is not spread with the pure bright mind. In the same way, they sit spreading their body just wrapped with that pure bright mind. This is the fourth jhana. And then there's more beyond that, these levels that people can touch. They say in the suttas, in the Buddha's teachings, you can touch the infinite space, infinite consciousness, nothingness, and neither perception nor non-perception. And then final cessation. When you come out of cessation, there's great insight about the truth, about things, that what we experienced before and what we now have in us as true knowledge are completely, they shift our perspective about the world. That is an enlightened state. Not that it easily comes to us, but when you have experienced enlightenment, ignorance disappears, and sensual desire disappears, and you become a person with pure intentions and pure knowledge, a person who knows the truth and not controlled by lies from within. Because all we experience is lies that we build in our mind about ourselves to begin with.
How do you know it's not like the enlightenment's real?
Because there is knowledge in you that tells that there is no further that you need to understand. And I think that person has done a lot of meditation to be able to get to that state, and that they have knowledge based on the discourses of the Buddha and based on the discussions with monks and spiritual companions, and that you can also confess that someone you think is knowledgeable about these experiences, and they will also affirm that you have had an enlightening experience. And especially after coming out of your meditation, and also if you have the right development of wisdom, the way you deal with the world will be very different. There's disenchantment, that you don't find it useful to fight with anyone for any matter, anything in the world. And you have become inwardly peaceful, and therefore there's no fight that you are fighting outwardly in the world. So that is the ultimate goal of these meditations that we do. But 4 jhanas are great pillars supporting us through and through up until our reaching of enlightenment.
Now the 4 jhanas are just the stages, so it's the 4 acts or whatever. Then to soap.
Yeah, that
And
these
then
are like
turning into, yeah,
very delicate stages that we can experience, and it's like stepping up a ladder, and we go higher and higher. It's like
Yeah.
a pyramid.
So just so I have it straight, it's like pouring the powder in.
That's
and
the
just
first
sort of
one.
relaxing the thing.
Yeah, the second one is welling up of a lake.
Mhm.
No water, no rain, no water coming from any direction, no rain pouring, but there's springing, the water springing from within. That coolness permeates. The third is a lotus immersed in water, completely covered in water. And the fourth is just white cloth.
So really, you're creating the water yourself in a way.
Yeah,
You're just creating that fluidity.
yeah. It's not hot water. It's not rushing rapid current. It is just welling up from within and just being immersed in that experience.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's almost like being underwater and being able to breathe
Yeah.
underwater.
Perfectly said. Yes, underwater, but you are able to breathe and your body is perfectly fine, no struggle.
Cool.
Yeah. And then it is also like, I think, having a zero gravity experience.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, something like that.
yeah. It's just like, it's also like you jump off a parachute and you are free falling
Yeah.
before your parachute opens.
Yeah,
But in that,
it's like being part of everything.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's interesting you said nothingness or emptiness earlier, and it's empty of, so it's in Buddhist context, emptiness has several meanings. The first meaning is that it's empty of a self. Because of your understanding and wisdom, you know there can't be any permanent self.
Mhm.
And it is then, say, the second meaning is that it is empty of something, like first jhana is empty of 5 hindrances. That because of that emptiness, then you have the first jhana. It's not complete emptiness, but it has something. So that emptiness is different from emptiness of a soul. I mean, permanent soul. So it's like there's something, but it's empty of other things. You know.
Yeah, like the bowl you were talking about.
And then the emptiness of this space, like space is empty too. But again, the space in a building and space in real space are two different spaces. The building has a structure, but space out there we don't know that there's no structure there. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's limitless. So that is also emptiness.
Yeah.
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 Any questions before we wrap up for today?
How do you recommend to get started? Just start or read? Like this actually makes a lot more sense.
Great.
Because, yeah, when I was doing it,
Yeah.
just now, but
This is how you start. Actually, you come and sit with us with any place where there's opportunity to meditate. And you also start a daily meditation practice, especially early hours in the day when your mind is not cluttered, and you can increase the time and you can use guided meditations on YouTube, and our Peace House has guided meditations, and also Sam Harris meditation. So
yeah,
any guided meditations that helps until you build a vocabulary that supports your meditation on your sitting on your own. And I think the idea is to not have too many words in your mind anyway, and eventually become that creating space for calm and peace within you. And it happens naturally, and not struggling with your sitting posture at all.
yeah,
Like I sit in this chair when I meditate, so that I can sit as long as I want to sit. Here, I get nerve pinches or some, numbing, and my leg falls asleep, and
Yeah.
it disturbs the meditation. Some days I get good meditation in my sitting posture, but some days I don't. So, and choosing the right posture is very important for meditation, and choosing a quiet environment. That's why we choose early hours of the day before the trash trucks or fire trucks are active, making noises.
Now, does it matter if you're lying, because some are like sleep meditations?
It doesn't matter if that is comfortable and less painful to you. I mean, in terms of bodily pain that some people deal with, and that you are completely awake.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Cool.
Anyway, let's share some merits and wrap up for today. May the suffering ones be suffering free, and the fear-struck fearless be. May the grieving shed all grief, and may all beings find relief. May all beings share this merit that we have thus acquired for the acquisition of all kinds of happiness. May beings inhabiting space and earth, devas and nagas of mighty power share this merit of ours. May they long protect the Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay. Thank you for joining.
It's been really useful.